Welcome. We were doing applications of ChatGPT as an assistant to data scientists for deployment stage of data science lifecycle. Now, by looking at previous lecture and the subsequent next following lectures, some of the viewers may develop that question that where is ChatGPT in all this? Because in very few lectures we will actually open this chat.openai.com and do something in it. That does not mean I did not use it. I used it, but I found that there is a lot of back and forth required before the code which is generated by the ChatGPT that can be used directly for Flask. So I did not want to make my lecture unnecessarily long and boring to include all that back and forth. But let us quickly see what back and forth was involved. So here I asked ChatGPT that this is my app and this is the code. This is say I am suppose a Novice Flask developer. So I developed some code and I pasted it in ChatGPT. Okay, and I asked it that this is the code. I want you to act as expert programmer. So role assignment is necessary. Context you are already giving by pasting the entire code, and ask me question on next prompt for some debug. So giving some specific task is also necessary, so that we have done. Sure, let's go step by step. And then it asked certain question that do you have home.html template, because my code mentions it. So do you actually have this template? You are accessing on local host, then does it load without error and all that thing? So for this, is this model which you are using for prediction rfc.pickle or loan model.pickle actually that is present in that or in the same directory as myapp.py, or it is you forgot to create the model, and then some this kind of question that what are the server logs, what is the error, and I asked him that answer to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 are yes. So that means this thing that have you installed all necessary dependencies? Yes. Do you have home.html file? Yes. When you access, does it load without error? Yes. When you submit the do you see any issues or errors in the browser? Yeah, no. So that means no errors in the browser. Then have you trained and saved the model properly before running your Flask app? Then yes. So then have you made sure that the model is present in the same directory as the myapp.py file? And finally, are there any Python libraries or files that are used in this? So this is the answer, and I said that out is error occurred in prediction. So that means if I show you the myapp.py code, then there can be three outputs. One is loan is accepted, one is loan is you are not eligible for loan, one is you are eligible, congratulations, you are eligible for loan, we are sorry, you are not eligible for loan. But if there is some problem in either exchanging the data between backend and front end, or there is some problem with this the code of this whole myapp.py file, or there is some problem with the model, or you forgot to put this model inside the same directory as this myapp.py file is there, then in that case the control will go to accept block, and this exception will be caught, and this exception message will be generated that error occurred in the prediction. So in my case that error occurred. Now you see that I asked it to help me with debugging. Then it took me back and forth a lot. First, it asked me that check it with curl minus d option. Okay, and it even gave the code also. So I said that with curl minus x, the output is curl minus x minus d, post minus d. So that is in the form data format. Then the output is octet. But when output is when the curl is used in this manner, curl minus x post minus h or hyphen h, then the output is not octet. So what is the error? Okay, so then in that case it gave again apologies for confusion, and so on and so on and so on. Now this whole process I don't want to bore, but ultimately after a long back and forth, somewhere you can see I scroll down, but I still got the same problem. Then here somewhere I am writing that now both curl hyphen x post hyphen d, and no, still there is a problem. Okay, now yes, now this JSON request is working, but now this form request which was working earlier, that started giving error. Okay, so it says that now JSON request is working correctly, so I'm glad, but there is some issue with form data handling. That means from front end to back end. So now it starts examining that issue, and I asked it again as if I don't know anything. I asked that how to use the curl minus hyphen h and curl hyphen d commands, and it gave me the command also. Again, this, remember, this command I have to use in the console of my PyCharm. That is, I have to use them here. Okay, so then this was the second step of debug. Before that, there was this first step during debugging. Server encountered internal error, and that also went long. You can see that it is working and working, and problem is not solved. So at some point it missed. Further, the code has only text boxes, but there are no labels for understanding what detail user is entering. So can you modify? So it apologized for the oversight and then gave the label. However, still this HTML code, that is the front end code, that was generated by it fairly quickly. I would say in second attempt itself, and that was not much difficult because there are four labels, four text boxes, and there is one submit button, and there is one division for displaying the output of the prediction model. So that it did, that is the front end part. But with back end, it really struggled. And this is the second that debugging stage where it found this error and that error, and sometimes in the correction, it went round, going back to the same stage. And if you remember somewhere, I actually had to ultimately tell it that this was the problem. So result is returned as y or n, but in JavaScript, it is not actually y or n. Instead of that, that my app or dot py had code 1 or 0. So there was no way for the app to understand that y means 1, that is the loan application is accepted, and n means no, that is the loan application is rejected. So as a result, that I had to give that idea. Thereafter, finally, somewhere it gave me the exact correct code, and then I just asked it that now suppose I want to use this for tutoring, and this is the code. This code is working perfectly. The app is working fine, so no need of code modification suggestion. I just need explanation each step one by one, and then it gave that. Okay, so this is how things went on. Now, I did not want to bore the viewers with all this debugging process because it took some time. Remember, in the front end, that is in this file, it just created a perfect file within just two, or I think at the most three attempts. But in this myapp.py file, a lot many attempts were there, and that was not mainly with coding related, but that was mainly with communication between backend and front end related errors, and debugging them required a lot of. So that is the reason why you should not think that I did not use ChatGPT anywhere. Okay, thank you.